Hey everyone, Kevin here with Divinely Design, and we have a lotion video. I haven't done a lotion in a long time. So, lotion making, I am not an expert at all. I certainly don't consider myself. I just dabble in it. I think it's fun. When you're doing, and I have a couple of videos on making lotion, so I'm going to link to that playlist down below. But the goal for this lotion was to make a cream, like a heavy, thick cream. One that I'm probably going to put into a tub container, not into a squeeze bottle. And sort of what prompted this was Brambleberry sent me a sample of a couple of butters, and one of those was coffee butter, and it smells so good. So I wanted to do a lotion that was sort of coffee scented. I don't normally love lotions to be scented all that much because it's a leave-on product. If you're the type of person who likes to wear a perfume and then you put a scented lotion on, I think sometimes those can compete. So I don't wear cologne all that often, so it's fine. But this just smelled so good, I was just like, okay, I want to really try it. So the coffee butter is really nothing more than some coffee seed oil mixed with sweet almond oil and hydrogenated vegetable oil. So you could use it in a soap, I suppose, although calculating the saponification value for it might be a little bit tricky. But I don't know that the coffee aroma would sort of carry through. Okay, so in general, that's sort of why I was prompted to do it, and what I'm trying to achieve here is a very thick, moisturizing cream here. So for making lotions, there are three phases. There's a water phase, an oil phase, and a cool down phase, and you need to separate your ingredients into those three phases. Let me go over the formula here, although I will have it down below. So in my water phase, I have 275 grams of water plus 1 gram of sodium lactate. Now, I also then added 28 grams of water. So the calculated formula calls for 275 grams of water, but because I have to heat this, I added 10% because that will typically evaporate out after you're heating it. Now, you could be precise and measure a pre-weight and a post-weight, but somebody once taught me that little 10% trick, so I think it's fine. The sodium lactate that we add here it's added because it's been found to improve barrier properties for the skin, and so that's why I use the sodium lactate. In the oil phase, there are 50 grams of e-wax, 15 grams of cetyl alcohol, which should give a silkier feel. There are 25 grams of the coffee butter, 15 grams of mango butter, and 20 grams of cocoa butter. 20 grams of avocado oil, and then 10 grams of IPM, which is isopropyl myristate. It's an astringent and an emollient, and it helps to reduce the overall greasy feeling of the lotion. It also helps the lotion to sort of penetrate into the skin. Now, having said that the IPM will help to make the lotion feel less greasy, this is going to be a greasy feeling lotion, and I don't mean that in a bad way. Generally when you make a lotion, they sort of go one of two ways. One is greasy, one is more powdery feeling. The powdery one doesn't feel greasy right away, but I don't necessarily like that feeling as much. And again, this is a thick moisturizing cream. In the cool down phase, so this is the ingredients that won't get heated, I have 10 grams of green tea extract, 5 grams of vitamin E, 2.5 grams of EDTA, and the EDTA really works with the preservative, which I'm using Germall plus 2.5 grams. the EDTA really works with the Germall Plus to sort of improve the preservative efficacy. There is 15 grams of Antarcticine, which is like this fancy ingredient I got from Lotioncrafters that's supposed to help the skin retain water and help with wrinkles. You know, who knows if it works, but you can go online and read about it. It was discovered in the Antarctic, and anyway. 5 grams of silk amino acids, again to add that silky feel, and then 25 grams of Honeyquat, which is a humectant and supposed to be a really great moisturizing, add a really great moisturizing property to the lotion. Now, in addition to the preservative, in order to make this sort of clean, everything that you see here, the glassware and all my utensils, I sprayed with a 10% bleach solution and then rinsed and allowed to dry. That's again to sort of control microbes. Also to do that, the water and the oil phase I heated to 75 degrees Celsius in a water bath and let them sit there for 20 minutes. So that's the heat and hold method that if you follow Susan Nichols' blog, which is called Point of Interest, she talks about again in terms of helping to control microorganisms. So I've already done that. I've already heated these, held them there for 20 minutes, and I just pulled them off the heat. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take our oil and our water phases and combine them and use a stick blender to blend them. Now, the E-wax that is in the oil phase is designed to bring the water and the oil together, right? That's what an emulsifier does. But you also do want to use the stick blender because the stick blender does add mechanical emulsification as well. So you do want to stick blend. Okay, so here we go. Okay. All right. So I'm going to stick blend this a little bit more, but our goal now is to get the temperature down below 50 degrees Celsius, somewhere between 45 and 50. Once we get down to that temperature, then I'm going to add the cool down ingredients in it. But for right now, I'm going to continue to stick blend and check the temperature, and then we'll be back in just a second. Okay. We are right around 47 degrees Celsius, and it's thickened up a ton, which is great. That's really what I'm going for. All right, so let's add in our cool down ingredients. Give these a little stir. And I'm also going to add some fragrance. So I have from Nature's Garden fresh brewed coffee, the world's best, and this coffee scent is amazing. I love it. To me, it smells like it has a tiny touch of chocolate also, which is why I combine it often with chocolate espresso from Bramble, because this is an amazing chocolate fragrance, but I think it has a hint of coffee in it. I think they work amazingly well together. So I'm not going to measure it. I'm just going to add a few drops or a little squirt from a pipette. So, all right. So there are our cool down ingredients. And let me add a little bit of That was like, you know, a quarter of a pipette maybe. And the same, I'm going to add the same of the chocolate espresso. All right. Let me stir with a spatula first. And then I'm going to use the stick blender again. The green tea extract has color to it. It's kind of a dark tan, so that's going to color the lotion a little bit. Okay, let me use the stick blender a little bit here. Okay, well, it has certainly thickened up now. It's continuing to cool, and it's just getting thicker, which is fantastic. It is probably close to as thick as it's going to get. It still has a little bit of cooling to do, so... And I often find that when you're doing a lotion at this stage, like, you may get a little bit of, you know, some areas of the lotion are just temperature-wise are a little bit warmer than others because you can't blend it sometimes. So as they even all out, you know, I think it will continue to thicken a little bit more. But that's pretty much it. I'm going to clean up my tools here and just let this sit. I might let it sit overnight actually, just so it's nice and completely cooled, and then tomorrow put it into some jars. So after the break should be the final version. Okay, stay tuned. Okay, here we are the next day, and if you can see that, this got super thick, which is what I was going for. It smells fantastic. It is like a cafe mocha. And I tried a little last night while it was still cooling down, and I put it on my hands. It feels really good. And the fragrance is not so overpowering. You can definitely smell it, but like an hour later, after I rubbed it in my hands, I could, you know, barely smell it unless I brought my hands up to my nose and smelled, and then you can definitely still smell that it's on your skin, but it's not like it becomes a, you know, a sort of cloud of perfume. Before I put it on my hands, I use some 2-ounce amber straight-sided jars. That's what I like. These are from SKS bottles. And put some in that. These are going to be gifts for a couple of friends I'm going to see next week. So I'll probably, you know, label them with ingredients and then do something a little decorative on it. But these are a good size, I think, for them. They work in a hospital. So I think this is something they could put in a purse, or if not, they could certainly keep it in a drawer at work, or I think these are a decent size, you know. And this will last a long time. The rest that's left over I'm going to keep for myself, and I'm going to try and put it into a Boston round bottle with a pump on it. Now it's pretty thick, but I think once I get it in here, it should work okay. But this is going to be for me anyway, so just to show you, it is definitely like on, well, it's definitely thick. Like you could put this on with a palette knife. It's definitely on the greasy side. Now again, I don't mean that in a bad way. Remember what I said yesterday, when you craft a lotion, they tend to either go to the greasy side or to the powdery side. And there are things that you can put in your lotion formula to make it feel kind of powdery and dry. I'm not necessarily a fan of that feeling. Now you can also craft a really super light lotion that is sort of, you know, on the greasy side. It doesn't leave the powdery feel, and that works into your hands really, really quickly. And you can put some lotion on, rub it into your hands, and kind of, you know, go out the door. This is not that, right? This is a cream that's meant to sort of be massaged in a little bit. It might be considered more of a night cream, something like where you put it on and then you go to bed. It would work great as, I think, a foot cream where you put it on your feet and then put some, you know, socks on over it and then go to bed. That would be great. But so just so you know, it's not like that light lotion where you put it on your hands, rub it in, and then and it's gone, right? No, this is definitely moisturizing and has sort of this just luxuriously greasy in a good way kind of feeling. Now after you massage it in a little bit and you give it a minute or two to dry, I mean, it'll feel fine. It'll still feel like you probably have something on your hands for another minute or two after that, but eventually it's gonna feel fine. But just know that that's sort of the feeling I was going for. I wasn't going for a very light lotion. I was going for a very thick cream. So, okay, that's it. Hopefully you enjoyed this. If you like this video, click that thumbs up button. If you aren't subscribed to my channel and you like crafty videos, including soap making, lotion making, card making, paper crafts, mixed media, polymer clay, all kinds of crafty goodness, please click on my subscribe button and check back here at Divinely Designed for more crafty videos. Bye, y'all.